Hello everybody, welcome to the stream with some technical difficulties. Let's see if we can fix them. For some reason the screen mirroring from the iPad is very laggy today. Let's see. Hey Schmelicopter, good morning Solar Fun. Alright, let's see. Is it okay now? Yeah, okay. Alright, well, let's get into it then. Good morning everybody, welcome to the stream. We are still continuing with this book, The Fantasy Mapmaker by Jared Blando. Amazing book, as I said on the last two streams already. And if we take a look at what we have achieved so far, it's this. We have kind of like a map of a fantasy place. I don't know, it's this little village from our D&D campaign. And what I did since last stream is just add shitload of details. So basically I can't draw for a long time at a time, so I would just is it the stream laggy or is it my PC internet? Let's see what Schmelicopter or Solar Fun say, and I will also check here the stream health. Okay, doesn't seem like there are any lost bits or something like that. Solar Fun says it's okay here. Seems alright. Maybe it's just your internet, Nervin. I mean, my internet. You can try from the iPad maybe. As I was saying, I see a lot of smiling bushes. Yeah, that's the result of my experimentation. Basically, I was kind of trying to draw as many details as possible without working too hard. So I would just, why is the, I think the iPad disconnected again. Alright, let's try this again. Maybe I'll need to restart something. Alright, well, if we can't stream, maybe actually if I just use the camera instead. Nope, not this one, this one. Maybe we can just do it this way. Unless it doesn't focus. Alright, let's try to focus it real quick. What a great start of the stream. Very professional, by the way. How is everybody doing today? I'm struggling with technical stuff today, I think. Okay, now it seems to be in focus. We can also create a reference frame so everybody can see what's going on in general. Something like that. All right. I struggle with back pain like a grandmother. Babushka Nervin. Yeah, so as I was saying, the details, it's kind of easy to add if you're just, watching something on Netflix and just drawing along, because it's kind of like all these little small, whoops, wrong brush, just little, I don't know, benches and small barrels stacked behind the houses, and maybe like a few crates or something like that. Maybe some clothing lines hanging. So that was my process with that, and then there was a big empty forest around, so I thought, all right, how can I simplify it? And then I just created a brush. Just drew a simple forest shape. It turned out to be a smiling tree, which I didn't intend to do, but it is what it is. It was an experiment. So, and then I made a brush out of it, and with some spacing you can actually quite easily create little forests, and you can vary the size of the of the trees. You can just make like a little park or something like that, or a little bush fence, and they're rotating a little bit, so it kind of keeps it changing enough, I guess. At least it's happy you drew it. Could be, yeah, but I think for a map like that, where it's, for me, for example, this is more like a training or just exploration of mapping. So I don't really care if things look too similar, or if it's, not detailed enough or unique, because I'm not going to use it. But if you want to spend extra time, you can create a few brushes like this and make sure that they don't look like smiley faces, and then just combine them. Like, I wanted also to make a small brush for like pine trees, but decided against it for some reason. But you can also make just a smiley face tree brush. Helicopter says, that's smart. I'd use a simple shape though and add some smiling details later so they would vary more. You can also do that, yeah. I was just trying to not overwork on the details, because the bigger shapes are easier to draw, but with the small details my hand gets tired very quickly. So today the idea was that we're gonna color this map, and for that we can use this book as a guide, the book that we're drawing from. He has some, basically the process is quite simple. It's the same as you're drawing with watercolor, you're just layering and layering. So we start with a base layer and then add like shadow layer, and then add a layer of highlights, and if we want I've never created a brush like that needed tutorial. We can make forest brushes stream next time if you want to. But now let's just grab a simple brush. And yeah, the idea is to just pick good colors, I think. And that's tricky. But I have some colors from Google Maps here for fields that maybe we can use. Maybe something like this is a good start. So we have a base layer for all the grass, let's say. Maybe let's start with something small like this river. First it's all gonna look really flat, but then eventually as we add more layers it will separate the objects much better. Let's just take a little bigger brush maybe and try to do it with one line. Can always adjust the details later, but now we're just roughly blocking the color shapes. Schmilicopter says yes to forest brushes tutorial. Okay, I'm an expert on forest brushes. I made one brush and it worked. So I don't know what to draw as I've already finished my map. Well, why did you rush with the map? Why not just wait for the Sandy stream to finish it? Just kidding. Also, if you want to share your map, you can send the link to your Instagram in chat. And then other people can enjoy it too. Too long to wait. Okay, I think the next step would be to draw the roads, and the roads usually are drawn with very light beige color, because kind of the purpose of the map is to find the way from one place to another. And with these kind of maps, oh no, the trash collectors are here. We will take 30-second break right now to let the trash collectors do the loud work, I think. The river is really bright. Yeah, I think everything will get brighter. So I'm also not really separating it in different layers. Because I just want to keep it as simple as possible. Okay, I think the trash collectors are now doing their thing, so I will turn off the mic for a few seconds. I think it's gonna be loud. Alright, I think the trash collectors did their dirty work and probably will leave soon. In the meantime, I just started to color the roads. As I was saying, with this kind of fantasy maps, especially if you're drawing it for your game or something like that, or just for fun, it's important to understand the purpose of the map. Some maps are used for guiding you through a place. For some maps, it's important to know the distances, and they have to be accurate because maybe your survival is relying on them. For example, like navigational maps for ships. And with this kind of maps, for fantasy maps or tabletop gaming maps, I think the more important part, well, one part of it is just having fun and having a nice picture, so it doesn't matter that much in general. But the important thing is to see the connections between elements. So for example, if your players come from this direction, they kind of just need to know that they can also go there, and there, like this thing is on the right side of the town, this thing is on the left side of the town, and to get there you can use this road, you know. So that's kind of all the information you usually need from the map, which means you can make the roads very bright, because that's the main stream of information on the map, so to say. And not really care much about scale of details, for example. You know, I was thinking about it a lot when I was drawing this, because I was thinking like, okay, this city, this building, for example, this village, how big is it, like, and how thick the roads should be compared to the building size? Because if you think about it, like, this is quite a big building. Alright, let's bend this thing. Alright. Anyway, as I was saying, the scale, I was kind of debating if it makes, if it's important to keep the scale consistent, that, you know, if this is a building, that means, let's say, humans live here, so we can kind of roughly estimate how big this is. Will the village road be this wide? Maybe not, but that kind of doesn't matter at the end. With this kind of images, it's just the matter of keeping it, making it look nice and fulfill their primary job. So with the scale, I kind of gave up on trying to keep it consistent, because I don't know what kind of trees would that be, that they're all, most of them are that much bigger than any houses around them. Could be like a sequoia tree forest, but don't think it would make sense in the setting we're playing in. Oops. it doesn't matter much that it's all over the place and there are some mistakes here and there, because we will put more layers and make it more nice with each layer. But the more mistakes you can avoid at any stage without hurting your progress, the more you should avoid. Means just the less mistakes you will have to fix later. All right. But this kind of road is very well, how would you say it? Very public road. There is a lot of traffic, so that's why it's so bright, maybe. But these smaller roads that lead in between the houses or in the courtyards of the houses, they can be much more muddier and rustic. Like this area, for example, it probably would be more brownish. We will switch to that in a second, I think. Maybe this road is also too small to be that well lit. Let's now pick something brownish. Maybe this one. I struggled a little bit with fields coming up with the color for them, because don't really want to just have all different shades of green, but from above I guess a lot of fields would look green. But some of the fields can be yellow, for example, if it's maybe corn or something like that. Some other fields can be brown if it's just dirt, if it's an empty field, for example. So we'll take a look at the fields in a second. For now I'm just painting mud everywhere. Fixing some of these mistakes from before. I wonder if actually using the camera is better than projecting the canvas. Don't really know yet how it is from the viewer's perspective. What do you guys think? Does this make more sense? Because I don't know, maybe you can see the you can see this layers panel and all that stuff anyway. At least you can see my stylus with a huge masking tape ball on it for better grip. Let's pick more dirt. What did you decide on drawing, Schmilicopter? Do you need help coming up with an idea? We can brainstorm. Oh no. How about now? No. Where did I miss a spot though? Oh, here it is. Oh shit. Now it's better. Alright, where else did we have the dirt? Here, I think this is a big courtyard with a lot of houses, meaning a lot of people doing a lot of stuff, meaning it probably would be really dirty there. Whenever there are people doing some stuff, it's usually very messy. Don't really want yet to do any gradients between the grass and the mud, for example. Hey, how are you doing, that onion? Welcome back. How diddling? Diddling is going well. As you can see, I mean, we had some struggles with technical difficulties, but it's time to paint this map, make it look colorful and nice. You have an ergo grip on your Apple Pen. I have been thinking of 3D printing a thing like that. I did this with it's actually a big mess. I took first a part of the other pen, and then it didn't work because it just broke, and also and it's still too thin. So then I just put a bunch of masking tape on it, and now I have this ergonomic grip that fits my fingers perfectly because I'm squeezing it all the time. I can recommend this because it kind of like, I mean, it feels better, like your hand is less cramped. But 3D print, if you have a possibility to 3D print something like that, I bet you can make it even more ergonomic. But it should be something kind of foamy, you know, it should be squishable, I feel like. How is it going on your side? Maybe like if you're 3D printing it, maybe you can 3D print like the main grip and then put like a layer of some soft stuff on top, like a very thin layer of foam maybe, or whatever this called, like there is the foam that shrinks to like shrink foam, no, the foam that takes the shape when you heat it up, takes the shape of what you press it against. I'm doing quite alright. Been doing server stuff. I have been 1 month gluten free now. Life is going forward and stuff. Good to hear. How is the gluten free going? It's quite interesting. I have a friend who is also gluten. She's not gluten free, but she doesn't eat gluten. And whenever you're traveling, it's kind of tough to pick like a good eating spot, for example, for everybody, because often now it's kind of getting better, but often enough you would just have to eat like a salad with tomatoes and cucumbers, and that's it. How's it going for you? This week I had some cravings for a food long Subway sandwich. I think my skin is more manageable with gluten-free diet. So you do see the effects of it. That's, I think, also is important to observe. Like if you feel better with it, then it kind of helps a lot with keeping it up. Because every diet is some sort of compromise, even if it's not really hard to do. For example, I'm vegetarian for most part of my life, daily life. I eat fish, so I guess I'm pescatarian. But for me, it kind of never was hard for some reason. Like it never really craved meat that much. Sometimes you get this like, oh, I feel like my body really wants some chicken right now. But if you just wait a little bit, it passes, and that's okay. I think I'm more energetic and gut feels happier also. Placebo or not, it feels good enough to continue for now. Well, I'm happy for you. That's really good. And you can always try out different stuff later, but as long as this one works for now. Do you cook more because of that? Because you have to work around some ingredients, or I don't really know where you live, so I don't know how easy it is to find gluten-free stuff there. Maybe I knew where you live, but I forgot. That's rude. Okay, let's add more dirt. This is blacksmith, so there would be a lot of dirt around, because it's a dirty thing to do. I think I missed your question. Boom, boom. How are you? I'm doing good. That's it. Great conversation. No, I'm doing well. We spent yesterday in IKEA and dragging the boxes. I was helping my girlfriend move to a new apartment. So that was quite interesting to see how people in Corona time go shopping in IKEA. And I must say, I'm a little bit disappointed because, it's everybody's talking about second wave and all that stuff. So we need to be at least a little bit more cautious about what we're doing. And a lot of people don't care about distance, or like if IKEA asked to come in maximum as two, or better alone, but some people then just come as the whole family and split up in pairs and then group up again inside the shop. You know, that's just stupid. I feel like it's uncomfortable to follow the measures because they affect your daily life, but you need to think as well. Darren says, no, mostly ate bread on the go because it's easy to grab from the store, but I just switched all that to fruits and drinkable yogurts. Ooh, that would re-energize you, I think. A lot of my own cooking includes pasta, so I just switched to gluten-free pasta. Here in Finland, we're lucky to have very good gluten-free options in every restaurant, and most restaurants make the food gluten-free and lactose-free as much as possible. That's great. This is why Scandinavia is so great. Feels like people are thinking about people. Like, that's just very nice of them. Here in the Netherlands, it's actually also quite okay. I feel like, at least in the shop, in the supermarkets, you can always find like a section for gluten-free stuff, and they have gluten-free, like a lot of gluten-free mixes. Like you can make your own gluten-free cake or gluten-free pancakes or something like that. What if we make the road muddy? Is this better than the white one? What do you think, guys? Should we make it muddy or bright? Yeah, well, if they didn't make gluten-free and lactose-free options, they would have less customers, or at least that's how I see it. Well, they used to not have gluten-free and lactose-free options, right? Before it wasn't as prominent. So, like, they need to make effort to switch to gluten-free options and lactose-free. Which maybe is increasing their customer base, and that's why they're doing it. At the end of the day, the goal of every business is to make money so you can keep having the business. There is nothing wrong with that. But if people benefit along the way, I feel like that's the best outcome you can wish for in current state. In the restaurants though, here at least, I feel like it's still a hustle to find something really nice and gluten-free unless you're going to a gluten-free special restaurant or a vegan eco hipster cafe. I feel like when you're traveling around, it's probably more of a hustle because in different countries there are different ways people with dietary restrictions live, like in different kind of realities. I don't know how it is in Russia right now, but a few years ago you wouldn't be able to find more like find more or less decent alternatives for gluten-free or vegetarian stuff, unless you're just like, I mean, sometimes you cannot substitute anything, but just switch to something else. For example, like instead of, I don't know, if you don't want to eat meat, you can switch to fish instead of finding meat-free meat. Gluten-free substitutes are pretty bad. Yeah. So, like, I think it would make more sense to just switch to something different and try to enjoy that. But a few months ago or weeks ago, here in the supermarkets, we found a very good vegetarian sausage that is really great. It's just like it has a very nice texture, it's spicy, you can like fry it up really well and eat it with egg, you know. And that kind of feels a little bit weird to me, because, you know, like if you want a sausage, just get a sausage. Now why make this complicated thing? But at the same time, you know, like if you're vegetarian because you don't want to overproduce meat or don't want animals to suffer or whatnot, then it makes sense to use a substitute instead of switching to, I don't know, something cucumbers. Yeah. Is the camera still focused, by the way? I remember the first time I tried soy meat was about, what was it? I don't know, like 18 years ago or something like that, when we were camping with my parents in the mountains with my family. And we couldn't really take a lot because my brother and I, we were small, so we couldn't carry that much. And if you're going for a camping trip for a few weeks as a few people, you need quite some food, especially if there is no way to get food there. So we had to carry kind of everything with us. And because people love meat, those meat substitutes have come a long way. Indeed, they did. Because so basically when we went camping, we had to take some food with us, and the lighter you can make the food, the better it is, because you need a lot. So for example, we had, like, instead of bread, you take these crackers or like dried bread, and instead of vegetables, you take powdered vegetables or dried vegetables. And it was the same with meat. Like, instead of taking meat that you obviously can't take in a 5-week camping trip, we took this Chinese made, like, it was from kind of like what you can find in Asian stores these days, but I don't think we had any Asian stores back then. It was just imported Chinese soy meat, and it was kind of like this, the very basic spongy type of soy meat, which just like doesn't taste like, it tastes just like a dusty sponge. Like, you don't really want to eat it, and it just sucks in all the liquids from where you cook it. And if you compare that thing, that nightmare from my childhood, to the sausage you can buy right now in the supermarket, in the Netherlands at least, it's just day and night. Like, these sausages that you can get here, you can just eat them and enjoy them. Like, you don't even really need to substitute meat or anything. You can just buy them because they taste good, not because they're substituting the meat. or at least not only. Which is great because it will lead more people to just eat plant-based food instead of overproducing meat and causing animals to suffer, which I think is a good thing. Nervin says, you just prepared it the wrong way. Well, we didn't really know how to use soy back then. Like, you know, it wasn't before the internet times, but it's not like cooking with vegetarian stuff was a thing back then in Russia. It was more like, we have these crazy Chinese weird sponges that can help us survive the camping trip. What do we do with them? Let's put them in the porridge, or not porridge, no, in the buckwheat, because we had a lot of buckwheat. And then you just cook it with buckwheat and then you eat it just as it is, which just tastes like soggy, a little bit salty sponges. Maybe there was a better way to prepare it. Maybe you can, I don't know. The dried soy can be really good if you let it sit with broth. Well, we didn't really know the recipe, and you know, all the translation on the packaging was literally Google translated. I mean, there was no Google Translate back then, but it was just automatically translated from Chinese to Russian, I think, because there were mistakes all over the place, there were misspellings, and I don't think there was really a recipe. But maybe it said like how many minutes you need to cook it before eating, but I'm not sure if on Asian packaging they write this stuff. Not sure. Alright, I think we have all the roads now. Yeah, let's say we have all the roads. Let's do the fields. Some fields would be yellow, like maybe like this. Let's just test it. Let's just have some yellow blobs here and there. Maybe some of them are brighter green. Maybe this thing here as well, or like this forest here. Maybe some of them would be just brown dirt, like this one. This one here as well. And this one too. Maybe some are brighter orange, brighter green, like the pastures for cattle. Some dirt can also be brighter, I think. Maybe like this. Did we forget a field? Yeah, there is one more. I think these colors can work actually. Let's also draw this garden here. Okay, I think I should just do the outline here and fill it and then do the roads. That would be easier. And the roads will be probably this time they will be well they will be much brighter because this is a park, so maybe they're covered with gravel. What kind of webcam are you using? That's a good question. It's Logitech. I think it's Logitech 920 or something like that. Let me actually check. Yeah, it's Logitech C920. You thinking about streaming as well? Oh hi, says Schmelicopter. I like the colors here. Got a bit distracted sketching some autumn landscape. That's acceptable distraction, I think. Yeah, I was kind of trying to figure out if the colors should be, like if the roads should be bright or dark. But then I decided to make them brown. Do you want to see the comparison between bright and dark? Maybe you will say that it's stupid with brown. Okay, I will show you in a second. So if we take this, paint the roads white. Like this, so we can have bright roads or dark roads. Bright or dark. Hard to say, right? Seems like brown blends better, but the white stands out more. So it's kind of both are good to some degree. I have been streaming before and I might get back. That's great. If you do get back into streaming, I hope you will let all of us know. Because I would watch. Those sketches are pretty cool that you do. Bright colors. Bright looks white here, so I'm not sure. Maybe something in between, like light beige. It kinda is light beige, but it can be beiger. Let's get more beige. Not all of them are connected. That's why using a separate layer for roads would be easier. It is all the same layer, yes. I just put all the colors in one layer because I don't think ahead sometimes. I already streamed Procreate with software recording, but I have been looling at C920 for other things as well. Yeah, I think the 920 is good enough. I never tried actually the microphone of it, if it's usable and or if it picks up too much noise from around. But I bet it's okay. C920 is a popular choice. Yeah, I think that's why I got it as well. I just looked at the reviews and everybody's saying it's like it's a good thing. And then I thought, alright, if people like it, must be good enough for me. And it is. The microphone, on the other hand, I'm using a separate microphone, and now I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't. Maybe the webcam microphone is actually better than this thing that I have. Maybe next stream I'll try to switch to the microphone of the thing. Okay. Let's see what Schmelicopter sent us. The autumn landscape. I see. Looks really nice. Like always, your simplistic approach and color choices are always inspiration to me and others. Thank you for thanks for sending it. I was curious. There is not much left to do with it, right? You just need to add something in the foreground and maybe add one more color. Kalesnik isn't my name. No, it's not. I agree. It's definitely not your name. But that's how you have been written in my phone since like a first grade in the university. Back then, that was the easiest way to differentiate between all the Alexanders and Alexandras, and because everybody had the same name back then. I just like your aesthetic of streaming digital like you would traditional. Yeah, I don't know if it makes sense, but I'm glad you like it. I think with the like today we just had a very I don't know, technical difficulties in the beginning of the stream where the screen recording wouldn't just connect or would just be super laggy. I think because I'm using Air server to stream from iPad to the PC, It's basically this like screen mirroring feature, but because it's using Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, I think it's kind of laggy today for some reason. So I decided to, instead of just not streaming at all, I thought maybe let's try with the camera. And it kind of works, I think. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about is the color, because the like color from the iPad into the camera, into the graphics card, into the Twitch, into your monitor probably doesn't look like the color I see at all. Which is a bit concerning when you're streaming art, but at the same time still think it's better than not streaming. Have you tried more traditional textured brushes? I think they might fit your style more. I have tried some more textured brushes, but I kind of feel like I can't. I'm too stupid to use them. Like whenever I use them, it just at the end it just looks all muddy and weird and like I don't know, very sketchy. Not in the good way, sketchy. But so I thought, okay, I will just use one brush or like one and a half, like this round opacity brush and the airsoft brush for softer stuff, and we'll just master those because I'm really struggling with painting digitally in general, like, and never like how it looks. And I thought if I don't overdo it with brushes and just do it all with this brush, maybe I will actually learn how to do the lighting and pick proper colors instead of messing around with the brush all the time. But I really like, there is this one brush that I really like. It's this triangular brush, which kind of like it starts painting and then it just drags around stuff. So it's pretty good for blending. Like if you want to blend one color into another one, it does a pretty good job and also leaves this kind of texture on it. And because it's triangular, it's kind of more random, and it's also rotating around. There is also this damp brush, which I use sometimes for like bigger texture places. But right now I'm just blocking the main colors. I think I will switch to some kind of a texture brush later. But if you have some nice textured brushes in mind, or you created some and want to share them, I will gladly accept your suggestions. I was also thinking about experimenting with using this plain round opacity brush and later just adding textures on top, because I think some people also do it this way when they just draw like a clean illustration and add textures on top later as decorative elements, kind of, or something like that maybe would work. I make all my brushes, but they're all hard brushes. Hard brushes are also interesting to use though. Wait, let's turn off notifications. Didn't think about that before. If you're okay with sharing your brushes, I would be really curious to see what you're working with. Don't know how to do that though. I think I have some of the brushes in Dropbox, which I can just send the link to. Or you can just post them on Discord actually if you want to. If you have the link. I mostly draw with a squished down round brush and add repetitive patterns like windows with a separate brush. Do you have a Windows brush? Or how does it work? I have a tree brush. I don't know if you saw it, but I showed it a little bit in the beginning. That way I made all these forests. I made this brush from this shape, which I just drew separately in the file, like this one. Oh no, I need to set up the reference again. But with this tree brush, it's actually pretty cool to just draw alleyways. You can make forests really quickly. Maybe you have something like that for Windows. It's either just a rectangle or rectangle with round end at the other end. Then I just add spacing on the brush to have spacing between the windows. That's clever. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's kind of the same I did with these forests, but I'm turning the brushes a little bit. Okay, I will leave now, says Nervin. Alright, Nervin, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed your time here, and I'll see you later, which is not that much later. Getting so lazy here. Unacceptable. Lazy Sundays? No. Can't tolerate this. Have a good one indeed. Yeah, I think I'll be streaming for maybe another 15-20 minutes. And then we'll wrap it up. I want to also paint the houses, at least the first layer, because it's gonna take a while to paint all the layers with all the shading and stuff. Bye guys, have a good Sunday, hearts. Thank you. You too. Yeah, so with the houses, I don't know, I don't really want to stream next Sunday the same stuff again. We've been drawing the map for 3 streams now, and even though I like maps and I like working in it, I feel like it would be more fun to have something else. For example, Schmilikopter suggested to have a brush making tutorial for the trees. We can do that. We can also do something different. Don't know yet what would be a good stream topic. Maybe just random landscapes. We can stream some animation process. I've been having fun with animation recently, like this thing. Or another thing from yesterday. By the way, Schmilikopter, I used your color palette that you shared with Nervan for this one. Can't really see it on the webcam, I think, but you can see the webcam in reflection. That's funny. Yeah, so I don't know, we can also do animation stream, but with animation and these kind of more specific options, it's don't really like to restrict my audience in a way to like digital only, for example, and that kind of animation, I guess, is, I mean, you can probably do it traditionally as well, like people did before, but who would in their right mind do it? Cool, you can post it with hashtag hex codes on with hashtag 6 hex codes on hashtag Instagram. Jeez. I showed some of my brushes on Discord. Let's see. I think I can share it this way. Web share. Nope. That's the wrong window. How do I select the right window though? That's the question. There you go. So those are the windows. I see. You can make like long archways with them. That's really cool. Do you use for just generally sketching and all that kind of stuff? Do you just use the basic Procreate? On Instagram, not on you can put a hashtag on a hashtag. And post it on the hashtag Instagram hashtag. I draw everything on Procreate. Okay. Do you use the standard Procreate brushes for the just like a general sketching, or do you have some of your favorites? There is this YouTube creator Cynics who I been following for many years and really just like he's also teaching art in California, I think somewhere, can't remember where, but yeah, he has a brush pack which I downloaded, which is a free brush pack that he's just created for kind of to share his tools, and that's what I've been mostly using it. Like it has the pencil, it has these basic brushes for opacity, and it has some mixing, like these weird brushes with textures that I also like to use sometimes. Oh, we lost the reference again. Where's this? Oh, come on. Procreate, behave. Ah, there you go. I use the Procreate Studio Pen and Procreate Studio Pen. Where is it? Doesn't matter. And find the brushes mostly for sketching if I'm not using the squish down round brush. Are you all saying I have to buy an iPad? Well, you don't have to, but I can tell you from my experience. Wait, it should be like a commercial. I've been having problems with art since I've been a young boy. I couldn't draw much. I wasn't happy with the results. But it's, I don't know, in my head I sound like Trump for some reason. And then one day I just bought an iPad and my life changed. Yeah, from my experience, I just bought an iPad this year, and now I have wrist problems because I've been drawing too much. So you should definitely buy an iPad if you want to draw more be mobile when you're drawing, because I've been drawing everywhere, on the couch, in the bed, in the park, on the stream, because it's just very, like, I have the smallest Pro that I have. Just post your affiliate link. Yeah, I wish I had one, but yeah, I have just like a smallest iPad Pro because I thought it's maybe more future proof than a regular iPad, and I've been really using it nonstop. It's especially with Procreate, you know, it is a game changer, just like that Onion says. That Onion knows stuff. Did you see those window brushes? Whew. It is a big game changer if you're trying to learn digital painting, especially. I feel like I still have it somewhere, an Intuos Wacom tablet. And it's a very different experience. Obviously, you can learn a lot while drawing on the Wacom tablet without a screen. Like, it's, you know, I only have the one that you attach to the computer or PC, and then you have to look at the screen and draw on the pad. So you kind of disconnected from the drawing, but this feels much more traditionally, and since I'm used to drawing traditionally, it feels much more natural. So I can highly recommend getting an iPad. Yeah. It's a really good thing for an artist. I was thinking that like it's so overpriced that I was debating with myself for years before I bought it, because I also like money, just like that onion. It's an expensive thing. But and you know, I was always kind of telling myself like, yeah, you just want this expensive toy. You're not gonna like draw on it. Remember what happened to Wacom tablet? You also got it to practice your digital art, and it's not about the tools at the end of the day. If you have all the tools in the world to draw, it doesn't mean you're gonna draw, doesn't mean you're gonna get better, doesn't mean anything. It just means you have things around you. But so far this thing, I feel like, has been already worth it. Even despite the fact that I cracked the window, the screen, the window, cracked the screen on the iPad. I think on the second week I got it, which was a little bit of a bummer. Tested a friend's iPad for a week before I bought it because I like money, and I just had the spare money. I sold my crypto coins before COVID got worse. How did the COVID play on the crypto market? Did it go down because of the pandemic? Not that I'm big knower of investment or cryptocurrency, but yeah, it all went down quite hard. I guess some people made money on it going down as well. It's a beach here. Don't think we'll have time for buildings this stream actually. Let's leave it at that for now. Okay, these fields need some refinement. Oh, refinement, such a terrible world. Terrible word if you're working as a designer or developer. Doesn't have anything nice in it, the refinement. You just mumble for 2 hours. Anyway, but it's good that you had invested in cryptocurrency before and could liquidate the assets. I think that's how you put it. Get an iPad. I feel like iPad is a good thing, even despite the overpricingness and all the Apple bullshit that goes with it. We don't always have to like the company to like the product. Okay, one more field. and with the buildings and maybe textures as well. Maybe we do it next stream if you guys want, or I'll just do it off stream and then we can do something different next stream, like making brushes, or I don't know, drawing some landscapes, or fantasy battles, or designing some spaceships. All right. Do we have time for buildings? Not really. Okay then, I think we will leave this at that for now. The only, also, before you 3D print something, make sure that you can take off your thing from Apple Pencil, because you'll need to charge it. It was my first mistake when I just put the tape on it without anything underneath it. Then it was just tape on the Apple Pencil. Anyway, I think we're good for today. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. I hope you enjoyed it and you drew something. If you did, don't forget to, because people sold to get money and last through COVID, that's all. All right, COVID, money, art, everything covered. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I hope you have a good day and a nice week, and I will see you all next Sunday. Bye bye.